Well, I guess for me, one of the biggest obstacles is I did mention before that I played with all the kids that I'm coaching now. We have 14 freshmen or 14 new kids, 12 freshmen, and 2 transfers. But minus those 14 kids, I played with the rest of the team that I'm now coaching. Not only did I play with them, but 2 of them I was roommates with for 3 years. So if you can kind of put that into perspective, you're kind of talking my best friends from college, and now I'm their coach. So I guess for me, the biggest challenge was knowing how to separate myself from them, of being your friend to being your coach. And it was one of those things where, it had been talk about me staying on staff and coming down to graduation, and they're just like, all right, well, I guess this is the last time we're going to call you Bree. And the first, like I said, the first month in, the kids are still calling me Bree, and it's kind of our little joke now that they have to do 10 push-ups whenever they call me Bree instead of Coach Hartley. So that's kind of been our thing, and I'm just really, I guess, setting the tone and just letting them know that now, it's a little bit different. This is my career versus, my playing career. And, they have to get on board with me as well. And it's one of those things that it's a little different at first, but now it's kind of cool to walk down the hall and everyone's like, oh, hey, coach. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me. I'm involved in that now. So that's a little bit different. But like I said, if you're going to be in this world and you start out young and, you said from your experience as well, you started as a GA, and it's one of those things where you have to learn to separate yourself. You can't be their friend anymore because, what kind of predicaments will that put you in? And it's all about being professional in how you work because you're starting out now and that's your career. So it goes with you your entire way.
Thank you. Anybody else want to jump in on that one?
I'll go. I've been in a number of different athletic departments at different schools, different levels. One of the biggest challenges that I've faced along the way is just learning to adjust to the department while also picking up what your role is. If you work in athletics, unless you're lucky enough to kind of stay at the same school for your entire career, which is rare, but it does happen, you have to learn to adjust to different coaching styles, to different department styles, the way people manage. No 2 athletic departments are even staffed the same way, so you just kind of have to learn what your role is and where you fit in while also trying to do your job, which can be a little difficult sometimes. So you really just have to have an open mind all the time and really be prepared to adjust to whatever situation that you're thrown into.
Anybody else?
I think mine's kind of obvious. Just trying to learn the game of basketball while trying to officiate it. A lot of times as an official, we're taught to referee the defense but anticipate what the offense is doing. And so if you don't even know what a flex offense is, how am I supposed to anticipate what they're about to do? So for me, it was just really surrounding myself with basketball players or with coaches where I could sit down and see plays and really understand why the pivot foot is important, because you have to be able to call it travel, or why we need to know what the post is doing or who the post is so we understand, what rules we're able to call about the post. So just really understanding the game, what offense, what the players are trying to do so that I'm able to just adjudicate the game. So it's still a struggle for me today, but I know what the pivot foot is now. I got it.
Yeah, and I realized I put the official and the basketball coach right next to each other, so.
We're going to be good friends.
I got it now.
Maybe that's a good thing. So.
Let's remember this happy moment so, in season later on.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I guess getting into the business for me was the biggest challenge, and placing kind of those mentors in your life and networking. And you have no idea how incredible it is for you to be an athlete. And if you do want to be a sports reporter, a female sports reporter at that, that's really what they look for. Now, I have a friend, and she actually just graduated, and she's already working with SEC Network Plus, and it's with her sport that she was affiliated with, and it's really building those mentors and making those connections. If you're out and you see ESPNU or you see ACC Network, just different production guys, ask a couple questions. How can I get involved? Is there any internships available? Because I promise you they will remember you, and just keeping those connections and everything like that really does help.
I think to kind of go off what she's saying is one of the struggles I faced is you're going to get a lot of rejection. I used to say after I graduated from undergrad, I could make a scrapbook out of the rejection emails that I received. So don't get discouraged. I mean, it's a job in sports. Who doesn't want to work in sports? There's hundreds of people applying for these positions. So don't get discouraged when you get a rejection email from a couple of them. Keep applying, keep checking, keep networking, because the right position is going to come eventually. You just can't let rejection letters get you down.
Well, and to piggyback off of that, it helps you if when you do get a no, follow up and just say, hey, you know, I understand, thank you for the opportunity. What could I have done better? What could I have done differently, so that when you have another opportunity, you can take what you've learned from, you know, from the past no and hopefully turn the next one into a yes. So keep that in mind as well. Any other challenges anybody wants to share?
I'm going to give you a out-of-the-box response to this one, but I think my biggest challenge thus far has been myself. Just really believing in myself, you know, having these opportunities. I've sat in your shoes, you know, people always trying to empower you, and, you know, I can tell you that you're going to do great things, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't believe that. And, you know, when I was at Tennessee, I was, like I said, I was bored, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work in college athletics, and up until that point, I thought, oh, okay, well, someone will come looking for me, right? You know, I was a former student athlete. You know, I had that identity, and I just had to go knock on doors. And, you know, I went to the compliance office, and luckily I had some connections to some people at the NCAA who called, and Tennessee just happened to be working very closely with the NCAA at the time, and they so they were like, hey, yeah, you know, we have an opening, sure. And I said, I'll work for free. And even still going forward, you know, even today, it's just saying that, you know, maybe I am good enough to do what I think I can do. You know, I need to believe in myself, because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't think that you have the ability, then that's going to mean nothing going forward. So just take a chance. If you get a rejection letter, you know, take it in stride. It's going to happen. But, you know, hopefully the next letter you get is, yeah, we want you. We'll give you the job, and be willing to work for free. That was one thing that I had to learn. Work for free and work hard if you're working for free, because that will make a difference and that will help you out down the road.
Thank you, Hillary.